let's do this. I'm going to go home. There's tons of links. Like I could go right from payables, right from here if I wanted to. Okay, I'm going to go home so you can see me do the whole thing. If I click on AP Vendor Waiting Room, which basically has splits in it as well, I can click on it, or I could even click just on splits. Do you want to see the whole waiting room or just the splits portion? Okay, so the whole waiting room, basically it'll grab my pieces, and I'll scroll down to Midwife's College, 425, it's under splits, okay? So these top three, splits, what are the payments, and what is owed. So those three columns deal with the splits. Under that same vendor, I don't have any REIs, reimbursements, and I don't have any POs that are outstanding. Does that make sense, kind of how it is? If I click on this particular one, it'll basically say, hey, this is just one. I'm not even going to let you really split. If you want to pay it, it'd literally be this easy. Click. How do I want to pay it? You know, a portion of that or whatever, and then you could hammer it in. It automatically knows that. We're going to, just so you can kind of see how splits really works, that's kind of fun, I'm just going to hammer in another one really quick, okay? Another expense. I'm not even going to worry about a date right now, and I'm going to say that this one's for 400. Just for fun, I'm going to categorize it where I'd like to categorize it, and I'm going to come down and say that it's on account as well. So now, if I actually was at my payables homepage, and I can go there lots of different ways, okay? This is the exact same link as it is from the homepage, but now under my Midwife's College, I owe $825. As soon as I have multiples, all of a sudden I get different options. Did you see how the last one only said, hey, you just have one, I just want you to make a payment on it. But now I'm able to split, and it'll let me split portions of it as well if I need to. I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't really have $825 right now. I'm going to pay $500. So I could go like this. I'll pay this one at $425, and I will throw $75 towards this guy right here. And let's pay that. And now when I pay it, it actually takes me to a different spot, because now all of a sudden what it's going to do is it's going to be like, looks like I'm starting to hold hands with some other pieces. Does that make sense how that's kind of doing that? So it starts coming down, and then it basically says, hey, looks like you're doing 500. Looks like you're making expense receipts for this and this and this. If you happen to have like external invoice numbers, there's another spot that it actually copies some stuff in if you needed additional information. Like sometimes people don't care if it's expense receipt 27 or 36 or PO number 77. They want to know their number. Hey, I'm looking for a payment for ER 7766, like whatever their specific number is. If you need that, just copy and paste it into these notes. These notes are whatever you wanted. I could then say, hey, I'm going to pay for it with a check, and I'm going to assign it to this bank, and here's the check number. And then I basically categorize it, and I'm going to say, hey, I'm actually paying off a split. And I come down and say, create the receipt. This is a little bit interesting. So these individual payments, they were already categorized. This is accounting stuff, okay? So when I created these originals, I said, hey, this one goes to this, and this one goes to this. So they're technically already assigned to where they are. Well, when I make this big, huge payment, and I'm going to kind of pay off some of these subs, basically it's a transaction against cash. And so basically it ends up ends up being more of like a balance sheet type thing. You're basically just moving money around as far as, instead of it, hey, I owe this much, oh, I'm satisfying this much owed, and it's already categorized like lower, if that makes sense, meaning in the actual expense receipt line item. And then you say create the receipt. Click. So the new one is number 29, and it actually paid for 28 and 27. If I click on it, it actually will come down and it says, hey, here's your things, you can print your check. This one happens to have a little link that says subs on it. So what happens here is that basically if you click on it, it takes you in and says, hey, this is the main, right here, number 29, but it actually pays for these guys. And so then you can kind of see how you're starting to stack little pieces of the puzzle into what's going on. Also, if you were to go back to this, edit the line items, and you click on payables for this particular one, it would say that we only owe it on one now. So technically, we only owe $325 because we already paid $75 on that guy. So if we click on splits, it won't have the little check boxes anymore. It's like, hey, looks like you just need to owe on one. You want to apply a payment to it? So you could technically do as many payments as you needed to, and what it does is it just kind of builds up that particular portion of the entity.